You're convinced? Are you convinced about that given the fact that the army is out there fighting the insurgency, let's say in Kashmir, they're fighting various militants in the northeast, that the army in no way, in some way might believe that, look, the state is helpless, maybe we should help vigilante groups to take the law into their own hands?
No, not in the least. I think that would be completely out of character for the army. In fact, the foundation of the army is discipline, and there is no way we'll be anyway ready to compromise on that, no matter what the situation.
Okay.
Whatever is the task given to the army will do it to the best of its abilities and with complete loyalty.
Okay.
But it will not sit as an arbiter.
Fair enough.
In terms of deciding whether the government has failed or the system has failed to deliver.
Okay, let me bring in one last time the two politicians, because I want to come into the entire theory, Chandan Mitra, which is being voiced of tit-for-tat terror. That because there is Islamist terror, in a sense, this is retaliatory terror, which is therefore justified. Bal Thackeray, in fact, said as much as this in June this year. The need of the hour, he said, is to plant a strong bomb in Bangladeshi bastis that have mushroomed in Thane and elsewhere in Maharashtra. A month later, we had a blast in Thane. Is this now tit-for-tat terror, in a sense, Chandan Mitra, and doesn't that worry you?
Yes, Rajdeep, I agree with you. This is very worrying. And I must say that if this happens, as I said at the outset, if really the idea of a tit-for-tat terror takes root, this country will be seeing a bloodbath, the kind that we have not seen before.
But isn't it true that a section of the Sangh Parivar is virtually saying that? Your ally Shiv Sena is saying that. It's a sense of endorsing this kind of terror.
Please don't put words in people's mouth. Nobody has said that. It is only because there is not just suspicion, there is almost a conviction that the government...
I just quoted you Bal Thackeray, sir. I gave you a straight quote of Mr. Thackeray. This was a direct quote of Mr. Thackeray.
No, Mr. Thackeray, at least the BJP has nothing to do. You know, Rajdeep, very well what kind of statements Mr. Thackeray keeps making. And I don't associate myself with that at all.
Okay.
Let me just say that, these kind of sentiments, although I am I disagree with them, but they are expressions of a sense of frustration at the government's failure to contain jihadi terrorism and over 10,000 innocent people having been killed over the years by jihadi terrorists. So some people are bound to talk like that. I don't support it, but I'm only trying to explain it.
Okay, fair enough. You're trying to explain it. I just want to get a final word from you, Manish Tiwari, then, that at the end of the day, many of these blasts have taken place in Maharashtra, where there's been a Congress NCP government. For years, they seem to have done very little about it. In fact, a CBI charge sheet into the Nanded blast was seen to be watered down. Suddenly, election time, the Congress seems to have galvanized itself.
Rajdeep, I think on the terror debate, we need to rise above party lines. Let's draw a leaf out of the American book after 9/11, and let's try and evolve a bipartisanship leading on to a multi-partisanship, because terror is too serious a business to be made a partisan issue and to be kicked around like a football. I think all of us are responsible people out here who are committed to the unity and integrity of India. And let's try and rise above the partisan spirit that marks our politics, and let's try and turn the fight against terror into a multi-party.
Well, that's all we can say is amen to that. It probably never happened, but General Patankar, 10 seconds to you. Do you really believe that will happen? As an army man, do you feel a sense of frustration when politicians don't evolve a consensus in the fight against terror?
Frustration at individual level can always take place. But I don't believe that as an institution, the army would let frustration take the better part of its judgment.
Okay.
The army will continue to remain loyal and steadfast and do what is right by the nation.
Okay.
And one last thing.
Yes.
You will see that the army does not compromise on discipline when at the end of all this, whosoever, if it's just Colonel Purohit or maybe somebody else who may be brought to book later, they will not be left alone by the army. They would be charged under appropriate army, the sections of the Army Act, and dealt with.
Okay, General Patankar, Chandan Mitra, Manish Tiwari, thanks very much. Manish Tiwari will stay with us because the Congress has more questions to answer this week. Are tickets up for sale? That's the next big question we'll ask. Cash for tickets allegations rocks the grand old party. Are the parties really selling election tickets to the highest bidder? A rebel joins us on the program next.